Is this the future of James Harden with the Rockets? Yesterday, Harden avoided directly answering any questions about his desire for a trade out of Houston during his media availability. Here's what he said.
Right now, I'm just focused on being here. Today was good. Yesterday felt really good being out there. The first time since the bubble. I haven't really had an opportunity to do a lot of 5-on-5 work, but for my first time being out there, I think I felt pretty good.
James, what was the point that you were trying to get across when you went to Atlanta and Vegas?
I was just training.
What were you training for?
The start of the NBA season.
How did going to Atlanta and Vegas help you there when the Rockets were starting training camp in Houston?
Just my personal trainers.
All right, so that's sort of how that went yesterday. And then here was the required reading. If you didn't see the piece from Tim McMahon on ESPN.com, you really need to read it. There's so much in here. I'll just read you little snippets. The James Harden era, which bridges 2 owners and now 4 head coaches, might best be summed up by a former staffer's 3 words: whatever James wants. There's another one in which a former assistant coach says we knew who the boss of the organization was. There's another that says if they have multiple days off, James is going to fly somewhere else and party, but he's going to come back and have a 50-point triple-double, so they're okay with it. So much to digest. Again, highly recommend that you go to ESPN.com and read it. In the meantime, here's the big fella. Kendrick Perkins is live with me on Get Up. Big Perk, as you read all of that, what was your reaction to the story about James Harden?
It was absolutely true, Greeny. And here's the thing. The Rockets gave James Harden an inch and he took a mile. I've been saying this time and time again that James Harden has had more power than any other player in the NBA. And what happened was that he was not involved in the new general manager hire. He was not involved with the new coaching hire. And he was upset. And look, I get it. If he was mad and he wanted a trade, I get that. But you still have to have a level of professionalism and show up to work. And when you do show up to work, you can't show up looking like me. So what happened is that now you're making it hard on the Rockets to trade you because for the simple fact they have no leverage anymore. So things are the packages that teams would have given up 3 weeks or a month ago, they're not giving that same package up right now. And here it is today. I strongly believe that James Harden will start the season as a Houston Rockets, Greeny, because the word around town through front offices and GMs that are talking that have interest or may have had interest in James Harden is that they're saying that basically he's the new modern Dennis Rodman. They're not questioning his talent or skill set on the court, but they're questioning his winning. They're questioning his off-the-court mentality. So, right now, they're in a tough situation, and I just see James Harden staying put.
Interesting. Staying put is one thing. The season starts next Tuesday. Do you believe one way or another the Rockets have to trade him, though? We know if the star wants out, the star generally gets out. Do you believe that one way or another they have to trade him reasonably soon?
No, Green, they don't have to do a damn thing. James Harden is under contract for 2 years. He has 2 years left on his deal, so the Houston Rockets don't have to make a move and request James Harden wish, especially because the Houston Rockets want back so much. They want an MVP type player or something close to that with a lot of assets, and teams are not giving that up. So the Houston Rockets are going to stay put. James Harden is under contract for 2 more years.
This could get very interesting indeed. And let me tell you, big fella, we have missed you. It is great to see you again. The season starts next Tuesday, and there will be plenty of Kendrick Perkins.
About it after the game as well. He was asked about it recently. What are your thoughts on being traded? And he commented on everything except being traded.
Right now, I'm just focused on being here. Today was good. Yesterday felt really good being out there. The first time since the bubble. Haven't really had an opportunity to do a lot of 5-on-5 work, but for my first time being out there, I think I felt pretty good.
So, Jay, here we go. The regular season begins on Tuesday. The Rockets' first game is Wednesday. The preseason ends Saturday, so there is no travel. There'll be business that can be done Sunday, Monday. When do you think this ends between Harden and the Rockets?
It ends when Rafael Stone and the Houston Rockets find the right trade package for James Harden. I like the way James Harden answered the question, right? You don't come out and say, I'm demanding a trade right now. You let your agent say that to the front office. He'll speak on your behalf. I feel like what you did miss, Zubin, though, and what we did miss is the best part about it. The reporter was saying, so James, why weren't you here at the start of training camp? And he's like, well, I was working with my own individual trainers. And he's like, well, in Atlanta and in Vegas? He's like, yes, I work with my trainers in Atlanta and Vegas. Yes, that's where they reside, and that's where I work out with them. Look, this is what's going to be with James. You're not going to get anything from James himself. He's a baller. He's going to hoop when he's on the court. But make no doubt about it, I give him maybe a month with the Houston Rockets organization. Eventually, they're going to find the right trade package in order for James Harden to be somewhere else other than Houston. I don't know where that's at. Maybe Philly has the best chance to get it done right now, but he will not remain a Houston Rocket throughout this entire year.
And Key, simply put, tongue planted firmly in cheek. You know, I love saying that. Fatter, Giannis's bank account or James Harden?
I didn't even hear I couldn't hear what you said.
No worries. We'll wait. We'll work on it. James Harden and the Houston Rockets again. Preseason game tonight against the Spurs. And then they got the Thunder in their regular season opener on Wednesday, which of course seems apropos because those are the two uniforms he's worn in his career, with certainly a third on the way. Still to come, college football's top analysts
Obviously played last night. We all saw it. His Rockets winning a preseason game against an in-state foe, the Spurs. Harden did not talk to the media after the game. He still wants to be traded. Now, in an article, listen to this, filed to ESPN this morning, written by Tim McMahon, the Rockets organization appears to have created a culture that gave James Harden all the power. One former Rockets staffer said he's never heard no before. Yeah, he's going to act up. A former Rockets assistant coach said, we knew who the boss of the organization was. That's just part of what the deal was when you go to Houston. The players, the coaches, GM, owner, all know. I don't blame James. I blame the organization. It's not his fault. He did what they allowed him to do. All right, Stephen A. There's a whole lot to unpack there. I know you still moonlight with a little reporting, so talk to me here. Did the Rockets give him too much power?
I don't think so. Listen. When you're the star, when you're the franchise, when you're the box office attraction and you play like a superstar, you deserve to have cachet. You deserve to have clout. The question is how you exercise it. See, the issue in question shouldn't be, did James Harden have too much power? The question should be, did he utilize it and exercise it appropriately? And if you've got people waiting for team planes, if you've got people waiting to start the film session and what have you, if it is true that Russell Westbrook was like, damn it, start the film, start without him, and that lent itself towards Russell Westbrook being the professional that he is, not liking tardiness and what have you, if that's something that turned him off, then that's something that needs to be addressed. I think the biggest thing is this. If James Harden had something to do with Kevin McHale, Houston ultimately moving on from Kevin McHale, which he did. If he had something to do with them moving on from Dwight Howard, which he did. If he had something to do with them moving on from CP3, when CP3 wanted him to not stand around and watch when the ball wasn't in his hand and to be an active participant in the flow of the offense, et cetera, et cetera. And that was a reason that CP3 was gone, and James Harden had something to do with that, which he did. That's where it becomes a problem. Because if you're the Houston Rockets organization, you should be in a position to say, look at all we've done for you, not just in terms of the money, but the level of control we've allowed you to have. And it comes across as if it is an abuse of power. And where James Harden, who I love and respect personally, and he's a superstar, and as far as I'm concerned, if he wants out, damn it, move him. Don't move him for cheap. Make sure you get equitable compensation, but you don't keep your star there if he wants to leave, because the brother didn't miss games. He came out there and played, leading the league, one of the league leaders in minutes played, playing through injuries, always showed up. I don't give a damn that he went to Vegas on his off day and parties. Did he show up to work when he was called upon, and did he produce? And the answer to both of those questions are yes. So I'm going to defend James Harden to the hilt in that regard. But what I will say is that with the backdrop of all of this leaking from the Houston Rockets organization, clearly the bottom line is that if you've done all of that for James Harden, then James Harden shouldn't be seen at a strip club or at a party without a mask on around a bunch of people where he ends up having to be gone from the team for an additional 6 days just to ensure that there's a negative COVID test that would follow.